And then, fucking out of nowhere, they decide to just completely fall apart. And it's like, it blows my mind,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's like, I get they're super committed and like they've invested a ton into it, but it's just like a couple good performance doesn't justify keeping it going. So
I know. And like, actually, we were talking before we started recording here, like, you lose your best guy and
you're paying a ton of money.
yeah, and you don't have a backup plan in place.
Yeah, and
like,
you just kind of like you hold on for it for too long, and like you get a couple little like blips on the radar that it might be okay, like I said, but like you can't just keep committing to it. You're losing the fans' interest.
you are, honestly.
But yeah, enough about the Marvel movies. Let's start talking about the fucking Jets.
Okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Jets Up North podcast. I, your host, am joined by the lovely backup host, Ryan, today.
Hello.
Cole is in Arizona right now. He's
Lucky-
having the time of
lucky
his
guy.
life. Yeah, he's so lucky. I think he's literally at a Suns game right now.
Oh my god.
And he was texting me earlier. He was like, "Yeah, I get to see like KD and
they just
Steph."
got
and
Beal
Clay."
back, too.
Yeah, so it's like actually a sick like
Yeah.
game, like Warriors Suns.
Playing the Warriors too.
Yeah,
Man, that'd be like bucket list seeing
dude, and
Steph
I like
live.
I think I've mentioned on the pod earlier in an earlier episode, like, because Cole and I were talking about like just sporting games in general, like, because I'd gone to the NFL game earlier this year, and honestly, dude, I think NBA games are like one of my favorite games to go to.
That's why it's the one major sport I haven't seen yet.
Yeah,
is
dude, you
NBA.
got it. It's so awesome. We saw, it was me and two other buddies. We went and saw Dallas versus the Knicks. And it was like, I don't really have any affiliation to either of those teams, and I still had an amazing time.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
such a good time.
If they're star players too, it makes it more.
Oh,
exciting.
yeah.
Like you saw Luka.
100%. Anyways, with that, we're going to be talking about some New York Jets football.
Just a great win.
Yeah.
Just a great win against a highly overrated Houston
Yeah.
Texans team.
So I have a bit of a running joke on here. Every time the Jets lose, I wear like street clothes.
Yeah.
So we finally won.
Let's go.
So I get to wear my merch.
Cold
for the-
swap, so I'm wearing street clothes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm sorry, dog.
That's all
Ah,
good. But again, you guys kept us alive.
we
The
avenged you
The
in a
Jags
way.
lost,
Yeah.
Texans lost, so we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jags did lose. I
So yeah,
forgot
I'm here
about
as a
that.
thank you to the Jets community. Thank you for coming alive, rallying the team, getting in the dub against the Houston Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I'm not gonna root for injury, but like C.J. Stroud might miss another game. Like, who
Yeah,
knows?
he could. Is Nico out long term? I totally,
I haven't followed up. I
Yeah.
haven't seen any follow up on that actually.
because that sucks. Losing
Yeah.
Tank and then Nico like back to back weeks like that. That sucks.
Their offense looked really bad.
And it's
without
like,
those
I
two.
think, yeah, they looked abysmal. I mean,
the Jets D's really good too.
it is so
obviously, but-
good. Yeah, we can get into it later and as we continue to talk about it, the game. But Stroud looked really silly out there.
Very
It was
silly.
pretty funny.
You know what? He's like, as the season's gone on, he's unfortunately kind of slid down a little bit. He's had some
Yeah.
like awesome games,
Yeah,
but the turnovers have started. Like he hasn't
Yeah.
looked, like dominated games as much, and like the Jets game was certainly like his worst game. I'd say.
it was pretty funny, dude, watching it. 'Cause I don't know. They were just. Our defense came up huge. It was like 3 and out over and over again with Stroud. And I was expecting it to be like. I wasn't expecting the score necessarily, but I was definitely expecting like. I guess the teams to cover the over.
Yeah.
And I think the over was like 33.5 or
Mhm.
something stupid like that, which they covered it. But like.
easily.
Um,
That easily.
I wasn't expecting the score. So, anyways, we're gonna get into the box score here. The Jets won 30-6 against the Texans. Pretty sick, I guess.
Never in a
I
million
mean,
years would have
yeah,
guessed that
I know.
score.
Legit, same. I was blown away. Everything was like clicking on offense, which is insane to say. And it's funny. Cole and I were joking about it. I missed the Chiefs game. I was on a plane at the time,
This
and
was better
Zach
than
looked
the Chiefs
unreal.
game.
I know. And Cole missed this game because he was at his girlfriend's graduation.
You guys need to take turns.
So we have to take turns, like, not
Yeah.
watching, literally. And you're just going to be a permanent host now. We're going
Literally, I've been on after Zach's 2 best games.
Yeah,
So.
so I don't know. There's something going on there.
We need to do like,
like-
do you know like the Kimmel bit where he's like always talking about having Matt Damon on? You just
No.
need to keep scheduling me and canceling so that Zach plays well.
Yeah, that honestly.
If I'm on the schedule, then
genius.
Zach
Yeah,
plays
if you're
well.
upcoming.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if it works, it works. I'm not going to question it. That's 2 times
Yeah.
now. You know, if I had a nickel for every time that happened, I'd have 2 nickels.
Yeah, which is weird, but
Yeah.
It's
Anyways.
weird, but it's weird that it's happened
Yeah.
twice.
Anyways, getting into the stats here from the game, the Jets had 301 passing yards.
Insane.
It's like Cole and I were celebrating when we saw Zach had over 200. I don't know what's going on right now. Someone's like singing outside my apartment. So
I thought that was preference.
apologies to the viewers and listeners if you can hear that. But yeah, Cole and I usually celebrate when Zach has over 200. He had over 300.
That's got to be like champagne or something.
Yeah,
treat yourself to a nice big bowl of ice cream.
I was a happy boy.
It's funny how when like you win and like your team wins and it's just like green light. It's like I'm treating myself tonight.
Sunday scaries just kind of melt
ice
away.
cream. Yeah, exactly.
You're like excited for Monday morning.
Yeah, you get to listen to all the podcasts.
Yeah,
and
literally.
Stuff.
It's like, yeah, honestly, it's funny how hard the Sunday scaries hit when your team loses.
Oh man, you didn't do the dishes all day.
Yeah.
Pack a lunch.
And then the Sunday nighter comes on and you have like that. Like you're just like, oh my god, what have I done?
Sucks.
Yeah. Anyways, Texans.
Like I'm looking at the box score right now, and if you would have taken like nameplates off, like I would have been like, yeah, this is really predictable. Texans beat on the Jets.
Yeah.
You see who got what.
It was a Freaky Friday.
It literally is.
Which I mentioned this on the last pod. Actually, I think it's hilarious that the Jets take the Niners defensive coordinator to be their head coach, draft a quarterback second overall, and then they draft a receiver in the second, being Elijah Moore. And it's like, hasn't really worked out. The Texans did the exact same thing. D'Amico was DC for the Niners, took C.J. Stroud second overall, took Tank Dell in the second, and it like has looked pretty damn good. And it's like, why couldn't it have been us, man?
Because honestly, I think all things are pretty equal except that quarterback at second overall.
I know.
It's not this game though.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that hilarious? It's Freaky Friday. So yeah, the Texans put up 54 passing yards. I mean, Stroud, he had 28 at the half, I think, which is hilarious.
Which like you can say he got hurt, but that was late in the game, and before he went out, it was not looking good.
No, it wasn't. And they actually had us beat here in the rushing yards category. The Jets hit 79. Brees was pretty mid on the ground. I think he averaged like 3 yards a carry or something. He made his impact in the passing game.
Yeah.
Rushing yards for the Texans though, 81. I mean, pretty equal, but they, it's kind of funny just looking at this. The Texans had like 135 yards of offense.
That's crazy.
And then the Jets had 5 sacks. The Texans had 4.
A couple sacks both ways. I mean, 2 pretty banged up and not great O-lines, honestly, so not surprising.
And then, weirdly enough, the Jets actually forced no turnovers. The Texans forced 1.
Yeah. That's the other weird part. If you would have told me this happened, I would have assumed like 5 turnovers.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that turnover the Texans forced was just a Zach fumble when he just like escaped the pocket, ran up a little bit, and he like hit the ball on his knee almost, and it popped out. Like it wasn't
when he ran
really
for the first. Yeah, I remember that.
And I think it was 14-0 at that point, and I was like, oh, we're gonna score again, and then he did that, and I was like, whatever.
There was a lot of those types of fumbles, like a guy diving forward and just like losing the ball.
I think one of the announcers during the game said it was like the Jets like 33rd fumble this year, and it was like the 13th they've lost or something.
Yeah,
which is kind of bad, but whatever. Moving on to top performers here from the game. We got Zach Wilson on. I think this is like only the second or third time he's been on this graphic. So
he's only had 2 good games.
Literally. So good for Zach, man. He put up very efficient game. 2 tutters, no turnovers except for the fumble. You love to see it as a fan of the team. It makes me happy, but
as a neutral, it's happy too because like I want with this Jets roster, I want them to look
good.
Yeah. Just begging Zach Wilson to please play
well.
Just
be normal. So
maybe it just he needed the slap on the wrist, and
it's like that Babadook meme where it's like, why can't you just be normal? And he's like, That's Zach.
That's literally Zach. I'm just like, please have a good follow-up game. You don't need to replicate.
That's the crux of his existence.
He had the Chiefs game and followed it up with a dud. So please just have I'll take 200 and a touchdown.
Yeah, me too, man.
Please be competent.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a universe where he balls out against the Dolphins. Their defense is kind of beat up. I mean, I don't know.
Will Schlevis looked good against them last night.
Yeah, so I mean,
on Tuesday.
So I mean,
anything can happen.
Yeah,
the Dolphins are sus.
Yeah, they are sus, but they're also very good. So I don't know. Brees Hall, I was about to say very efficient. He wasn't on the ground, but receiving wise, he was
so good.
Like 18 touches, 126 yards, and a tud. Great player.
That's
man.
why you get a guy like Brees. If the
I
ground
know.
game ain't working, then he'll just catch 8 passes.
It's so funny. If I can find it, that tweet from that one dude saying that we should have taken Malik Willis over
bad
him.
process.
Yeah.
Then you're the Jets. You suck. You are terrible. You used a premium pick on a running back, and I don't want to be
When
this
you
guy.
used a high pick on a running back last year.
I don't want to be this guy. But are you fucking kidding me? That was the problem with your team? Your team sucks ass.
Yeah.
Like, take Malik Willis. Take another quarterback.
Very funny. And then
I
Garrett.
remember the guy's face. I can't remember the guy's name.
He literally looks like a finance like douchebag.
Oh yeah, and, like that's how he acts on Twitter. That's how all those PFF guys.
His name starts with like I think it's like David P. Something. I can't remember.
I think
It's
you're
like
thinking of the Packers guy.
oh maybe
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like PFF Paul or something.
oh yeah,
like
it's
that.
PFF. Yeah, something. Yeah.
But it's like just his name, and it's just like
Yeah.
he was the worst.
The Packers guy. I'll post a picture of the Packers guy. If there's any Jets fans listening, they'll know.
Peter
Yeah,
Bukowski, that's the
Bukowski.
Packers guy.
Someone called him like Buttkowski or something, and I thought that was pretty funny.
Even like outside of the Jets thing, he pops up like on just people on NFL retweet him because he's like a notable Packers guy. But he's always so like snarky and obnoxious.
He's
like, you
annoying,
can't
man.
stand him.
Yeah, if he's listening, you stink.
Yeah.
Anyway,
stink, Peter.
Garrett Wilson, another great game from the guy. Old reliable, 9 catches,
So
108. I need to see him with Rodgers.
Did he not have a touchdown? Am I crazy?
Did he?
Tweaking?
I don't
Maybe I'm
think
thinking
he
of,
did.
Okay. Oh, I'm thinking he like got close one play and then it got called back or something.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe?
I'm currently recording with my phone, so I can't check.
Question Cole's graphic.
Yeah. Shout out Cole for the graphics, by the way.
think I've seen
I
it.
don't think he's. Why am I tripping right now? It's like Mandela effect. I'm like, did he score or not? I don't think he did.
Cobb did. Maybe I was thinking of Cobb.
Yeah, Cobb scored and Gibson scored. So
Yeah, that's what it is.
DJ Reed. Okay, so the reason DJ Reed's on here is because there were 2 fourth downs that he had breakups on, which was awesome to see from him. He's such a good corner,
He's
man.
the best, like not the best, but he's like the ultimate number 2 corner.
Yeah, he's so
He's
good.
so clutch.
It's like shades. Okay, I'm not trying to compare Sauce to Revis yet, but it's shades of Cromartie and Revis in
It
a way,
is,
just
yeah.
having like 2 dudes on each end of the defense.
I
And
think it's
then,
a fair comparison.
yeah,
Like,
he's so
they're-
good.
It's not fair because Revis is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
And it's like yet to be seen with these two, but like
Yeah.
it's the best duo you've had since those guys. that's for sure.
Facts. And what was I gonna say? And it's such a testament to like his passion and his actual talent, because he's like 5'9", and he's going up against like these receivers who are like bigger than him, faster than him. Maybe he's a dog, like
And when you're
literally.
the number 2 away from a guy like Sauce, there's a lot of pressure on
Oh,
you
yeah,
'cause you're
totally.
the guy they have to look at you. They're not
Well,
looking
and
at
I don't know. You
Sauce.
probably knew this, but Sauce always stays on the same side. It's very
Yeah.
rare that he shadows. So Reed oftentimes will get matched up against the alpha on the other
'Cause
team.
that's just like you have to do
Yeah,
that.
he just has to, and he locks them up. So it's pretty dope that we have this.
Yeah.
I hope we don't waste it. I hope Reed and Sauce can stay healthy. Like, knock on wood, for especially like next year, because it's so valuable having a secondary that's
Yeah.
good. I hope we can ride this high for a long time. Quinnen Williams,
Very noticeable in this.
beast. Yeah, he was feasting, man. He's just. I love to see a guy get paid and not give up.
Yep.
Because Jets fans have been burned by that with Muhammad
Totally.
Wilkerson.
Of like all franchises. For
Yeah,
sure. You've been
and
burned
it's
by it.
tough, man.
Even just from outside free.
Trumaine
agents.
Johnson comes to mind. Yeah, it's Le'Veon Bell. So to see a guy get paid and continue to play at this high level, I think one of the announcers again during the game when I was watching, he mentioned Quinnen's the highest double teamed D tackle in the league right now, which
on
is
a very good D line. So
Yeah.
like, it's a tough choice to do that, and they still do it.
And then Cole put Will McDonald on here just because he got a
Yeah.
sack, which is we love to see.
He looks good.
Yeah, he does. I hope he gets more snaps, but it's like Cole and I talk about this often, and it's like there's
You have
just so
so
many
many good
mouths to
guys.
feed. So
Yeah.
it's like, how do you give this guy snaps? You know,
And there's nothing wrong with throwing a guy in fresh. You know.
right? Like Salah loves his rotation,
Yeah.
so I hope to see Will get more tread.
Imagine being a tackle and constantly having to face a fresh Jermaine Johnson, and
Right.
Will McDonald,
And
Bryce
it's like
Huff,
these guys are all different too. Like
Yeah.
you have Will and Bryce who are like
finesse
speed,
guys.
and then you have Jermaine coming in and he's just like bull rushing
Oh,
you.
yeah.
It's like that's got to be so tough to be
Hella
like one snap you're like, yeah, we could talk about that
and
for a
then
while,
next
but
play, Quinnen's running a stunt
yeah,
on you.
literally you got this Quinnen stunk coming in. It's like, bruh, what am I doing? So yeah, overall the Texans game was really enjoyable to watch. Any viewers that have been tuning into previous episodes know I've been pounding on the table for an exciting game.
Just feels good to win one.
Facts.
And like I always, where I'm at, I like for tanking. If you don't have a quarterback, I think you need to be like, unfortunately, tanking minded because that's where you get those
embracing
guys.
it.
You need to get those top picks or at least be within distance to trade up or something.
Totally.
If you're the Jets, you know you have Aaron Rodgers coming back next year. Like where you end up from, like, I don't know, the range of like say 8 to 16, or like maybe we're thinking playoffs. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
But like just like from anywhere from like 8 to 20, if you're the Jets, like you're probably still just getting like a position player or something.
Totally.
So,
kind of like another Will McDonald like type player.
I think it's just good for morale, and like it feels good as a fan to win one. So.
I was just gonna say that it's good for like the team's morale because I know for a fact a lot of the guys in this core nucleus are gonna be returning next year, and it's like a lot of these guys on the team currently, if Rodgers can stay healthy next year, all these things, knock on wood, a lot of these guys are gonna be part of like the team that makes the run when he's healthy. So it's like you don't want the Garrett Wilsons and the Sauces to be like, oh my god, kind of thing. Like, it does.
You need to know you can win.
Yeah, so it's like this is a good opportunity for the team to like you said, just like even learn how to win and you know, and beating up on teams like the Texans when they may be missing some key players, like I said, like Tank and Eco. Yeah, that's important. Learning how to like looking at the Bills, they always play down to their competition. Being a team that like you can just go in and handle business against a team that might be like a little weaker. Like with Rodgers, the Jets should steamroll the Texans. Yeah. Without him, obviously, it's a little bit more even of a playing field. If not, the Texans are, I would say, maybe even better. Going into that game, I'd say that I think the Jets were 3-point underdogs. Yeah. But where was I going with this? I was just basically trying to say, like, you need to learn how to beat up on teams that are, like, on your level or lower than you.
Like, sometimes you have a quarterback that'll just win you a game because some of those guys, like Aaron Rodgers, is really good and can do that. But I think, like, this year, we could look back next year and be like, this team learned different ways to win this year, even though it was kind of like a lost season. Yeah. Like, games like this, they found a way to win.
Yeah. I don't know if you knew this, but since 2022, the Jets lead the league in safeties.
Really?
I think they have 5, and they have 3 this year. Which is hilarious. So there you go. There's a unique way to try and win games.
Is, like, built for those situations.
It is, dude.
Like, 2 dominant corners, pass rush.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, I guess.
Was that how the game started? Because I remember joking that like a 2-0 win.
It started against the Falcons.
Right.
We went up 2-0, and then they kicked a field goal, and Cole texted me. He was like, "They're not overcoming this 1-point lead," and they never. And we never.
That's what it was. They
held the lead again.
You got the safety against the Falcons, and I'm like, I want a 2-0 win. So
that'd be hilarious. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to move on now to the next game here. We got the Dolphins coming up. Jets versus Dolphins, matchups to watch. The first one here is, can Zach Wilson continue his momentum against the Dolphins? And we already talked about this earlier in the episode. That is probably the biggest matchup to watch. I think probably the one we'll be most curious about. If anyone's really tuning in that's not a Jets fan, that's probably the one they're most curious about because it's a good question. Like, can he? I've yet to see Zach string together multiple good games in a row, like real good games. Yeah. So if he can, it's like maybe a flip really did switch in him. Maybe the benching like showed him like he's like, I actually don't care anymore, and he's just slinging it. So.
And seeing the other two struggle, it's like I wasn't really the problem, you know. Like,
right? Yeah,
he's good enough.
Yeah, there was that clip of him literally laughing with Rodgers on the sideline. I bet you Rodgers was like, "See," kind of thing. Like, totally. Look, like you can do this kind of thing. The next matchup here is Tua turned up all over versus the Jets defense. I'm curious to see this, honestly, because last year we matched up really well against them. We had Hill and Waddle kind of locked up. So that's actually really interesting.
Banged up at best.
Yeah, so I mean,
I haven't heard like how serious it was, but like, he didn't play very much last night.
The way to beat the Jets is on the ground. Yeah. Our weakest point on defense is our run defense.
And they have a very unique running
They do,
style.
and it's so fast. That's another way you beat the Jets is like speed,
which is a concern.
So I mean, it's funny because I could totally see this game just being a blowout in the Dolphins' favor, but I also could see it being really close. Yeah. Like our defense keeps us in most games, so
it's gonna come down to how like can they adjust to the run, because like they're gonna get big running plays.
Oh yeah,
that's just gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
but can you adjust to the outside zone that they run And I think it'll come down to one or two big plays to Waddle or Hill. Can you defend them, or will they connect?
Yeah, they're gonna try. There's gonna be at least like probably 10 attempts to either of those guys that are like 20+ air yards. So I mean, like that is the X factor of the game. I think is if those plays connect or not. So
like as we love those two Jets corners. If there's one area they're lacking, it's probably long speed down
it
the
is,
field.
yeah.
So
especially Sauce. Reed might be. I think Reed is faster than Sauce.
He is, yeah.
And that's definitely like there's a lot of plays. Who was it? It was I can't remember. In the preseason there was a receiver that it was Wan'Dale Robinson. He burnt Sauce. And everyone on Twitter was like, Sauce is cooked. It's like, okay, well Wan'Dale's really fast, okay? So like
it's like a rock, paper, scissors thing. It's like Wan'Dale's like built in a lab to beat a
literally.
Sauce.
So I mean,
and it's preseason.
Yeah. And so the next matchup here to watch is Jets corners versus Dolphins wide receivers, which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
It's speed versus like technique and finesse.
Totally.
So last year I think the Jets had the edge. Earlier this season when whenever we face speed, I feel like we've held up decently, but I think it comes down honestly to partially even the Dolphins O-line.
They lost Connor Williams to ACL.
That's who I was going to just mention because it's like if Tua has time, I think Tua with time is a very dangerous individual in the league.
But under pressure, he's not the best guy under pressure.
Yeah, so it's like also like they need those plays to develop too. So the less time Tua has, that's a big deal. That can sway this Jets corners versus Dolphins wide receivers matchup.
Someone's going to be going against a backup, and all the Jets guys on the line are good enough that they should dominate a backup.
Totally. So I guess we'll see.
Limit those big plays, like you said, by getting to Tua early.
And then probably this one haunts us. This is like literally on every single.
I feel like this is probably your number one concern going into the offseason.
Yeah. Can the Jets O-line remain consistent?
Yeah.
It's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. It seems to be like every game, it's kind of like a new.
No Jalen Phillips for Miami, but they still have Chubb and a bunch of other guys.
Jalen Phillips is so good. What was it an ACL for him or what was
Achilles,
it? Achilles. That sucks because I really like him.
Me too.
You hate to see an injury even to like a division rival like that.
They did just sign Melvin Ingram today.
They did.
Play at all in this game.
Yeah.
Clearly, they're concerned about their pass rush.
Yeah. So maybe this is a get-right game for the Jets O-line. Doubt it, but maybe. You never know. Anyways, I think that's all we had for our graphics here. As, like, a fan who doesn't cheer for the Jets every week, what were your thoughts? I guess, actually, my question for you is what are your thoughts on the season post-Rodgers injury?
I think we'll see how Zach plays it out, but, I think they completely screwed up by not at least having a backup plan.
Trading for Dobbs or something like that.
Your backup plan was Boyle or Simeon.
So bad.
Get a Dobbs or somebody. Or sign a Flacco.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's played for the organization before. And he clearly can still play at a decent
I don't know if you've seen any of the previous episodes recently, but I've been pounding on the table for Josh Johnson. I want Josh Johnson.
Dude, he was competitive.
He's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
He's so good. I was saying to Cole, he plays like he doesn't give a fuck. Like literally, he doesn't care, and he just airs it out.
I remember the last time we played the Jets was a Thursday nighter, and the Colts blew them out early, and then Josh Johnson kind of scored a bunch of fourth quarter points, and it got within 10 points, and their drive ended, and he was smashing his helmet angry.
Yeah, he's passionate, dude.
That's a guy who cares.
He's
that's
a baller.
Dude.
So I know it's kind of a joke, but still, it's you could have at least tried.
At least if you're gonna suck, you at least want guys that care.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like Cole and I were joking about it. The Tim Boyle thing's gonna be a Jeopardy question.
Yeah.
It's such a weird piece of trivia now. It's remember when he started? It's bizarre to me. Just looking at his college stats and his NFL. It's how did this man start for the New York Jets in 2023? Did you? Sorry, I might have cut you off. Did you have any other thoughts for how they handled it?
That's the biggest thing is they were way too late to try and scramble for a backup plan when they did. The trade deadline had passed.
Yeah.
It's unfortunately just kind of a wasted year for a lot of really good young players.
It is, and it's when you have all these guys on rookie deals, it sucks to see that. And like
I said, you're kind of just hoping now that you can win some games and these guys learn to find a way to win.
Totally.
And, carry that optimism into next year with Rodgers.
Totally.
And hopefully Joe, or I assume they're going to retain Joe. I think they'd be dumb to fire him. He's done a lot of good or whatever.
Cole and I have talked about that. We did a little fun thing of
I think it would be reactionary.
Totally. I totally agree with you. We did a little like start bench cut with I think it was with Joe, Saleh, and Hackett, and I started Joe, bench Saleh, and cut Hackett. Obviously,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, but like I don't know if Saleh's really on the hot seat again. Like
I think if anyone goes, it should be Hackett.
Yeah.
And like
totally.
That might cause some conflict with Rodgers. They'll have to work that out internally.
Yeah.
But like purely from a football standpoint,
he's pretty stinky.
Yeah. Like not to like bring up the Colts or whatever, but like we have Gardner Minshew in, and Shane Steichen is still dialing up plays.
Right.
Like,
and it still works, and it's like actually exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Like I actually enjoy watching Gardner Minshew
100%.
play.
Like he's very limited, and that shows itself all the time. But like the coaching is good enough that we can find ways to win.
Totally.
Still. Hackett, and I would say the Jets quarterbacks have been a little bit less than Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But the coach still like he's not making it easy on them or dialing up plays.
Totally
to
agree.
Make it easy. So
I also don't really think like Saleh should be on the hot seat just because like I've mentioned this so many times in the podcast, but like if Josh Allen tore his Achilles on the fourth play of the game, like I know people are kind of actually now people are kind of talking about if they should fire Sean McDermott just because not only because of the 9/11 thing, but just because he's been kind of a like I guess the question is like if the Bills don't make at least like the AFC Championship game, like you might have to consider a change there. But like if Josh Allen did tear his Achilles in the fourth play of the game this year, are you going to fire Sean McDermott for that? Like why are you going to fire Saleh for that? Like
and like if Saleh's defense had gone to shit and they were playing poorly, because that's 100% his purview.
Yeah.
But like those guys are still playing their ass off and like playing together.
Totally.
And, like, playing with intensity.
Totally.
So, like that speaks to Saleh.
Oh, 100%.
So,
the only blemish on Saleh this year is the penalties. We've committed so many penalties. It's ridiculous. He needs to really reel them in. But I think
I struggle to blame that on coaching too, because it's like you can tell them all. You can tell your dog all you want to not piss inside.
Yeah.
But, like, so I don't know.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
It's like also I think like having Rodgers on the field. A lot of these penalties have been on offense.
Yeah.
Just self-inflicted wounds. I think having a guy like Rodgers out there on the field playing would kind of reel that back in too.
Yeah.
I think maybe some guys are trying too hard because they know Zach's in playing quarterback or Tim Boyle, so they're like there was this one play where Lazard kind of had like a block. It was like a blindside block basically, and we got called for it, and it was like a 30-yard. I think it was a Garrett Wilson catch, and it brought back like a 30-yard Garrett Wilson catch. Yeah. It's like things like that. Those have happened just a few too many times.
And maybe I'm messing up the timeline, but I believe he was inactive the next week or shortly
Yeah,
after.
It was 2 weeks after he became inactive.
So I don't know if that was related or not, but like you can't really say he's not holding guys accountable.
True, totally. But yeah, so overall, I think we've kind of covered all the bases here for the podcast. Cole, he's currently in Arizona. Like I said earlier at the beginning of the podcast, I think he's currently like at the Suns game, like as we record this. So I hope he's having a great time when he watches this. We miss you. What'd be funny is like maybe at the end of the season we have a pod with the three of us.
That's what I was saying. I think we should do like a playoff episode.
Yeah, that'd be funny, and we could just talk like general football, even
like a playoff bracket and like give our reasons.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd be so down for that. Cole on location managed to record us a little treat of a video here.
Do we want to do a score predict?
Oh yeah, we can.
I need to get my viral clip because if you guys don't remember, I nailed it last time.
You did. I'll have Greg put that in when he's editing. What is your score prediction, Ryan?
My score prediction.
I don't even know what the over/under is for this game.
Dolphins are a bad December team. I think the Jets could get them. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say 21-17 Jets.
Ooh, okay. I'm just going to be even more optimistic and assume it's a high-scoring game. 32-28 Jets.
That would really.
Yeah, I would love that.
That'd be fun.
And then so we got Cole on live on location here. Greg's going to put in this beautiful clip that Cole sent in.
Howdy. This is Cole tuning in live on location from the beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. Just wanted to give my 2 cents on this glorious Jets dub. Unfortunately, I was unable to see any of the fun stuff. I went to my girlfriend's graduation right at halftime when it was 0-0, thinking we were tuning in for another Jets clunker. But little did I know when all of a sudden I checked the score and it was 14-zip. Player of the game, obviously, our boy Z-Dub, Zach Wilson. Nice to see, we got the game that we always wanted from him. Excited, Miami lost last night. It's going to be, if Lil Levis can beat Miami, I think Zach can do the same thing. So let's take it to those fish next week. Ryan, thank you for co-hosting this week. That's awesome. Probably do a better job than Adam and myself, so that's great. And my score prediction for Jets-Dolphins, let's go 28-21. Jets. Let's go, baby. Thanks for flying with us.
Anyways, thanks for flying with us today. We really appreciate you tuning in. If you have the opportunity, like, share, subscribe, comment.
They legit have a really funny social media.
We do. Check out our TikTok. It's hilarious.
Even if you can't watch every episode, which I admit I haven't been able to, the clips are really funny.
They are pretty funny. Shout out to Cole for that.
Yeah.
He's a real one. Cole and Greg,
well.
they're in their bag. Anyways, it was great to chat with you today,
Yes.
Ryan.
Thanks for having me on board.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Always fun.
Anyways, with that, peace out.
Good luck.
Stop.
Yeah, just hit the red circle.